Hello and welcome to this series. Today we are going to learn how to make a basic store system in Godot for your game. This system may seem simple at first, but it's actually quite powerful once you start customizing it for your own game. Throughout this tutorial, we will cover all the important stuff you need to know to set up your store. Notice how each store item we are displaying here uses the same base item setup. This item is created dynamically using store data. Right now we are just printing a simple message, but you can use this structure to build your own powerful in-game store scene. Let's get started. Looking at the drawing, you can see the general idea behind our store items. When designing a UI element in Godot, it's often helpful to sketch them out in image editing software first. This way, you can easily visualize the node structure before implementing it in Godot. As you can clearly see, we have got two main parts. On the left, there is an image representing the item, and on the right, we have all the information about that particular item. So inside the base node scene, for the store item layout, we will start by using a base panel container with a size that suits your design. You can customize its size to fit your needs. Since we have two main components, the image representing the item and the information about the item, we will use the Xbox container to organize them side by side. Feel free to adjust the size and style of your panel container to match the theme of your game. In this example, I have used a Starbucks flat to give it a simple basic appearance. So for the box container, we only need to adjust the custom spacing between its child element. I have set it to 50 for this example, but feel free to adjust it to your preference. You can set it to whatever value suits your layout the best. Inside the Xbox container, we will utilize two margin containers, one for left item and the one for the right item. So for each margin container, we will have its margin set to 5 pixel in all direction. All other settings will remain as defaults. Inside left margin container, we will place a text react where our store icon will appear. We won't set the text directly in the editor because it will be assigned dynamically through the code. For the text react, we set the expanding mode to ignore size and stage mode to keep aspect centered. This setting will ensure that the icon maintains its aspect ratio and remains centered within the text reacts. So for right margin container, inside the right margin container, we will place a VBox container to contain all the other nodes and arrange them vertically. This VBox container will help organize the information about the store item neatly, stacking them vertically for easy readability. For VBox container, default setting will be enough. We'll be placing two labels as heading 1 and 2 for both heading 1 and heading 2. We will enable auto-wrap to word and set the minimum size as 200. Additionally, you can customize the theme to match your desired aesthetic. I have done some basic font theming. So next node will be a buffer. A buffer node is a simple control node with vertical expanding enable to separate button and labels. So the last component will be the button. The button component of a VBox will be a button with its maximum size set to 75 and horizontal container size set to shrink at front. This setting will ensure that the button maintains its minimum size and adjusts its position within the container accordingly. So for the store scene, I have placed a grid container inside a scroll container to demonstrate how it works. Each store item will be contained within a grid container with a new item added for each new store offer. Now let's create a script for the store item and connect the press signal from the button to the store item script. Additionally, we will create a store script responsible for managing the store. Rather than coding it right now, I will explain the structure and functionality of the script, which can be more beneficial for understanding. In the store item script, we will create a signal called item by press. This tells the store script when the user clicks the buy button. The item's ID is sent along with the signal to help the store script know which item was clicked. These are just already variable used to set up the item data. ID will be unique for all store items generated from the store. This set of function will be called from the stored scene, which passes the stored item related data as a dictionary form and the PID representing the ID of this item. Dictionary will contain icon path, heading, text, etc. First, we load the item's texture using the path provided in data variable. Then we set the text for two important GUI element, heading 1 and heading 2, based on the data we have. If there are no data available, we default those fields to empty string. Next, we assign the unique ID parameter PID to ID variable. This ID helps us identify the item later on, making it crucial for managing our store. Finally, we check if there is any custom button text specified in the data. If there is, we set the text of button object accordingly. This process ensures that each stored item is properly configured with its texture, heading, ID, and custom button text, ensuring a seamless shopping experience for our players. So when user presses the buy button, we will simply emit the item buy press signal with its actual ID. So now let's look into the store script. Here a ready variable is used to get the grid at which our stored items are going to be placed. The stored item export variable is used to load the stored item scene we have created earlier. Here the stored item ID is used to generate stored items ID. So in the stored data, we store the actual array of stored items data in dictionary format. Each element of the array is a dictionary representing a new stored item. Within each dictionary, the icon path key holds the path of the icon that will be displayed. Heading 1 and heading 2 key correspond to the first and second heading respectively, providing the necessary text for our GUI elements. Additionally, the custom button text key is included for flexibility. If provided, it allows us to display text other than buy on button, enabling customization based on specific item characteristics. This structure ensures that each stored item is defined with its icon path, headings, and optional custom button text, allowing for a dynamic and visually appealing shopping experience. In the ready function, we will call the setup store function, which will set up the store by using the stored data variable. First, in setup store function, first we enter it into a loop to iterate through the stored data array, since this array contains the information about each item in our store. Inside the loop, we instance a temporary instance of our stored item scene. This is like creating a blueprint for each stored item. We connect the item by press signal of the temporary stored item to a method called onItemByPress. This allows us to handle when an item is bought. Then we add this temporary stored item to a child of our grid. This is where all our stored items will be displayed. Finally, we call the setup function on a temporary stored item, passing it in the data for that item and a unique stored item ID. This function will configure the item based on the provided data and will ensure that the item is properly configured. We will also increase the stored item variable for the next item. Now on item by press function, we can use to handle when user buys the item. Currently I am only printing what the item user bought, but you can use whatever you like. So as you can see, it's quite dynamic. I have added quite a few items with different data. If you encounter any issue, please feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to comment any suggestion for me. Thank you, and at the end, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. If you want any other tutorials, please comment down that below also. Thank you.